Hey everyone, welcome to the developer live stream. Thank you for joining us. I'm Andy, I'm from the community team at Capcom USA, and today we have two very special guests. As you can see right here in San Francisco, we have game director Nakayama-san, and producer Matsumoto-san. How are you guys? Genki desu ka?
Yeah, we're doing great. Thank you for having us.
And we have Hiroshi doing translations for us off screen, but
Hello.
everyone can say hi to him. Yes, everyone give him claps. He's actually wearing like pink headphones right now. looks
Super
looks
cute.
All right. So we 2 days ago we actually went on Reddit and asked the community to ask as many questions as they want, and there were over 400 questions. 400.
400問以上の質問もらいました。
So we're gonna get through as many as we can, but this is only gonna go on for an hour, and we're actually gonna do something a little bit special at the end of it. We're gonna do an unboxing of the Mad Gear box for you
Oh,
guys
nice.
to
Okay.
see.
まあ時間も限られてますので、質問をちょっと絞ってお聞きしたいことがいくつかありますので、最後の方にちょっとコレクターズエディションの開封をちょっとお見せできればと思います。Alright.
All right. So while I ask you guys these questions, you're gonna be playing World Tour mode. Cool.
Of course.
And if you see something that you want to point out to anyone, feel free to stop anytime just to point out to the community what you're looking at.
何かお見せしたいものがありましたらいつでも見せてください。
All right.
Okay, so question one, and I'm gonna call you guys out by name from the Reddit thread. One from Link Nova: Have you considered a jukebox mode where we can set and listen to music from all of the previous Street Fighter titles?
Good question there, because it makes sense for this to have so much like budget, as you can tell from like the presentation and whatnot. Even though the roster's like only 18, they put a lot of money into everything else though, from the visuals, online features, offline features, the world tour, battle hub, and all this like that. It would make sense, like, yeah, why not have music from the past games in here along with this one? So yeah, let's see what they say.
まあ、
Oh, okay, so it's like he's going to the music option here in World Tour. World Tour mode. So I guess that you can. He sounded very low. Weird. I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
Nakayama-san just showed a menu where you can select the music, where you can kind of create a playlist from using tracks from past Street Fighter titles. And also in the training mode, there's a way to select those tracks as well.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm
In training mode as
that
well?
because a bunch of people asked that question, so I wanted to ask that one first. Next question from a non-player. What's the ultimate intent of modern controls?
まあ、今回のそのモダン操作タイプで、最も達成したかったことは何でしょうか。
Trying to adjust the audio.
Oh yeah, I guess the biggest goal that they wanted to accomplish with modern controls is that they just wanted to get all sorts of players be able to jump right into the game and be comfortable with it.
And that makes
And,
sense.
Also, there's certain types of peripherals that usually come with the base hardware. So they wanted a control type that kind of matches, matches like the default like gamepad that you might already have, and just kind of make it applicable to as many users as possible.
Cool. This next question I'm curious about because I played JP. I'm gonna play JP. I'm gonna main him. He's my favorite.
Okay.
This is from Blue Blue. What was your inspiration for designing JP?
Oh, very good question.
というキャラクターを Yeah, I mean, what they wanted, some things that they wanted to accomplish with this character was they wanted to create a character that that uses a like a staff in their fighting style, and I may be butchering the name of the martial arts style, but there's something called barits. Barits that appears in the Sherlock Holmes series.
Huh.
Okay.
And so that was a big inspiration for this character.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love Sherlock Holmes.
ドラマも面白かったか
next question from Garo FGC. This is a fun one.
おお。
Is there a reason why Luke's forearms are so big?
Yeah, besides him just being Popeye inspired.
We kind of intentionally designed Luke as like a heavy punching character,
Mhm.
so that's kind of some of the reason why his forearms are so.
Because he's
And
designed as a
then,
heavy punching guy.
Also, as a kind of like a contrasting point, his rival Jamie is more of a kicking character, so they wanted to kind of make that.
So because Jamie is more focused on kick-oriented combat,
That makes sense.
they want Luke to be more focused on his fist and
Loves
hands
how
or arms.
cheesy,
Okay,
Luke has
the
become.
contrast there. All right.
That's a cool character.
Yeah.
All right, next question from Fringe Spider. And yes, I'm reading off of a paper, everyone. There's a lot of questions. So, will there be crossplay between PS4 and the other platforms?
PS4 と他プラットフォームとの
I could have sworn they confirmed this a long while ago. Whether it was early this year or last year they confirmed this, like that there's crossplay. Maybe it's because there hasn't been any like PS4 footage or anything like that outside. I mean, I think the demo was available for PS4, the recent demo, right? But none of the betas, I guess, been PS4. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there hasn't been. But yeah, I mean, it should be fine.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
もちろん。
もちろん。
I think like 10 people asked that question, so
あ、本当。
yeah, I wanted to make sure for everyone. Yes. Yes.
It is
Yes.
supported.
Of course, yeah.
Let's hear it in chat. There we go. All right, from Alucard. And this is a question that I saw on Twitter, but when can we see JP's cat, Cybele?
まあ JP の
Oh.
シベリにすごい興味。So, yeah, I can't really say give you a clear answer right now, but if you play a little more of World Tour, maybe you'll get a chance to meet JP. If you increase the bond with him, maybe you'll learn a little bit more about him. So that may be a way to gather more information about JP and all the other characters.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, if people want to explore, if people want to explore, then they explore. Next question is from Firepower. How long does it take to develop a character from initial idea to a fully balanced character ready to be included in the game?
That's a nice one. A good one.
コンセプトのその本 Yeah, it kind of depends on character, but about an average, roughly 2 years from like the initial concept phase to
2 years?
implementation, 2+ years.
Okay.
2+ years
Now, guys.
from initial concept to final,
Everyone might expect.
まあみんな
like
思ってる
finalization made of the character.
かもしれませんね。
Wow.
So truly.
A lot longer than I anticipated. I thought it'd be like maybe a year plus minimum, like a year to year and a half. That's wild.
怖い。
She's scary if you make her.
Tory Beans, in terms of the story, how many years have transpired since Street Fighter V and Street Fighter 3?
So yeah, actually, out of all the titles within the series, Street Fighter the timeline for Street Fighter V is actually significantly long, and actually even part of towards like the end of Street Fighter V actually overlaps a bit with the storyline of 3.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is just like basically after everything.
Yeah, they finally pushed
Yeah.
past
Yeah.
that. And I guess it makes sense in a way that 5's story was overlapping 3's, because they kind of
This
put
is
themselves
a
in a
very
corner with
controversial
that,
question.
and
Everyone loves Marissa.
but there's no like
So,
specific
Todd,
ideal like
what was the thought
timeline when
process
shit's
inspiration
happening
for
either.
designing Marissa?
まあみんなの大好きな。
ありますね。
So one of the big things that they wanted to accomplish with this characters was, they never had that many opportunities to create a large sized female character. So this was an opportunity that they had with Marisa with Street Fighter 6. And then in terms of her fighting style, she has like they utilized a lot of took a lot of inspiration from I'm
Mhm.
gonna butcher the pronunciation of this also, but Pancration?
Oh, Pancration. Yeah.
Pancration. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know. It's probably not Pancration, but you know.
Yeah, Pancration and mixture of MMA as well. So they have she has
Okay.
elements of those two fighting styles into her repertoire.
Okay. I think everyone's gonna be really interested. Everyone. みんなのコミュニティはマリサが大好き。大好き大好き。 Okay, so next question. When animating characters, how much is motion captured and how much is animated by artists?
Actually, uh, in like the early stages of doing creating the animations, they actually mocap everything as much as
Oh,
they possibly can.
wow.
And then from there, then they kind of tweak that and adjust like the speed and like the actual motion itself of all the moves. So yeah, I mean it's all of every they do it all for both for all moves pretty much.
Hmm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so in terms of like selecting the legacy characters, they already had a pretty good idea of who they wanted to bring back from the past
Right.
titles. And like, they were able to like Matsumoto-san's favorite DJ, he really wanted him back in, so that was a pretty easy decision. However, for the new characters, that took a lot more time to kind of figure out, okay, like which countries do we want to represent? What kind of fighting style should the new characters have? And as they touched on before, like it takes a long time to create these characters, like 2+ years.
Yeah.
So yeah, for that aspect, it took a lot longer than selecting the ones reappearing from previous titles.
Okay. I'll do photo mode with the mime. I'm gonna post this on Twitter later.
後で投稿してもいいですか？
もちろん。
Mm.
いやー、いいっすね。
From Virgil Angelo, what are some ideas you had during Street Fighter V's development that you were finally able to implement in Street Fighter 6?
ストリートファイター5を開発してた時に、
That's cool.
まあyeah, so like pretty much everything that we're seeing in Street Fighter 6 is just features and modes that they really wanted to have in past, fighting game titles, and finally they were able to make a brand new Street Fighter game from scratch, and they were able to essentially accomplish and incorporate everything that they wanted in this game. So
I think people can tell too. I mean, I can tell. You guys put like everything people have wanted into this. From Killer Wolf, I'd like to hear if there are any interesting stories behind the design process of the brand new characters in Street Fighter 6 and who was the most interesting character to create.
yeah, I think that the first new character that comes to mind is Jamie. As you can tell, is like a kind of a drunken boxing fighter character. And the original concept for Jamie was kind of like an older gentleman who might be like from a cop from like Hong Kong
Okay.
who has like a drunken boxing background. But then they felt that maybe that wasn't enough, and they wanted to kind of make him like maybe like a slightly younger, more kind of like hip character, someone who, and that's why they incorporate like the breakdancing aspect of him also. And
The drunken style, drunken mass of speaks Jackie Chan to me, though.
To come up with Jamie, so
And that's what I thought Jamie was. I thought Jamie was gonna be like kind of Jackie Chanish a bit,
inspiring time to create.
but not as much as I hoped.
Jamie being the first new character we revealed.
What's up, Chaos
Everyone
Flames?
got a strong reaction because of how well designed he is and the hair. Everyone loves how gorgeous he is. With that.
まあ彼もルーク以外は初めて紹介した新しいキャラなのですごい印象的なと思いますし、やっぱ髪の毛もすごいゴージャスなところもありましたね。かっこいいですし。So yeah, besides from just like his appearance, actually, Jamie was the result of the creation of multiple animators.
Okay.
So his drunken boxing animations, and his breakdancing animations were actually created by two different people
Oh,
in the team.
cool.
And the drunken boxing motions were created by kind of like a veteran within the company, and he's obviously a super talented person. And then actually the breakdancing was created by more of a kind of a younger newcomer to Capcom. And people like Nakayama-san, Matsumoto-san, they're huge fans of like like Jackie Chan movies and movies that incorporate like drunken boxing, so they understand
Right.
how cool that is. But like some of the younger people, like this new animator, they didn't really fully grasp the concept of drunken boxing. So that's why they kind of like shifted their focus to like the breakdancing
Breakdancing.
aspect of his animations. But then gradually that person started to, like, oh, okay, this is what drunken boxing is, and start to learn more about that fighting style, and I mean, they're no longer a newcomer. They've been working on this game for
They're
quite a
seasoned
while now.
now.
They're seasoned now. Yeah. So that was just like a really interesting kind of learning experience for a lot of different people within the team.
ちょっと今気づいたんだけど、めちゃめちゃ進めちゃって、ここから先やると、いろいろね、プロモーション考えてくれてる人に怒られちゃうんで、ワールドツアーの進行はここまでにしますけど、
Okay.
He's making some pretty
Oh.
good progress on World Tour that maybe we're not sure if we're supposed to be showing.
I know.
Oh my God! They were supposed to show a cutscene. Oh no! Oh no!
膝が
Oh man!
Let's not go too far in the deep end.
Everyone can
So
see a
that
little bit more
cutscene
of it.
earlier.
It's okay. No, no. You're in charge. You're in charge.
I mean, we didn't hear it. We saw it, but we didn't hear it.
エンディングまで頑張ってやろうかって。
Wow.
Speed run all the way to the ending of the game,
そう
but
そう一日じゃ絶対終わんないんで、はい。
it's probably we're not gonna do it in one day.
Exclusive look at More World Tour.
人って誰ですか？
The reference.
ですね、オープニングの
The reference. That's
方は
Ken.
開発スタッフが
And so for the arcade mode illustrations, it's done by various people.
Mhm.
People including internal Capcom staff, including the people who did like the World Tour opening, and also external artists were they helped collaborate for the illustrations as well, similar to what we did with Street Fighter 5.
I like right here. This is one of the Easter eggs.
Easter egg
イースターエッグですね。これどっかで見たことある船
Maybe
かもしれないですね。
maybe you've seen this cruiser
Somewhere.
Hmm.
There's a lot of Easter eggs just in World Tour, so
Sweet.
いろんな過去作のレファレンスが入り込んでますので、
You
す
guys
ごい面白いですね。
hid them in places.
いろいろ隠れてますね。
隠れてます。
はい。
Next question is what inspired the decision to go with a more realistic art style for this game compared to past Street Fighter and
Yeah, because 4 and 5 art styles are very similar. And this is, like, kinda drastically different.
現実的リアリスティック So actually they tried they tested out a lot of different types of art styles for 6 before they landed on the current one, and they even started kind of like painting, like oil painting type style for the art, the direction of the art, but ultimately they kind of felt that it was a little too similar to like Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5's art style, so that's kind of why they went in this more realistic style. And another thing that they wanted to kind of challenge themselves with was, we have the 8 Street Fighter 2 World Warriors and Street Fighter 6. What would those characters actually look like in this context of this like super hyper realistic style using modern technology, and yeah, that's kind of how they ended up with this general direction.
Cool. You can see like most of the World Warriors, they have a more civilian casual style. So
So like the whole like element of hip hop, we've seen it in past titles also with like Street Fighter 1 and especially Street Fighter 3, and they already had a good understanding that the that general kind of music theme meshes very well with the overall Street Fighter universe. So they wanted to really enhance that in Street Fighter 6 and kind of incorporate a more modern take of hip hop sounds. And then ultimately that kind of got reflected in the general aesthetics and art style as well. And yeah, so that was a decision that was made early on, and they were able to kind of really flesh it out in the future.
from Epic Hunter, which character would you consider was the most challenging to design for Street Fighter 6?
I guess this could include from new and legacy characters.
Yes.
Yeah, so out of the new characters, I think Kimberly was especially difficult to design.
Interesting.
Like, the concept was there from like
I can see that though, Kimberly, yeah.
But then just kind of like really kind of fleshing her out was, I don't know, it was hard to land on a specific direction, and they even this concept of like an American ninja style character. And they even thought, like, what about like a kind of like a cyber ninja?
Oh,
Would that
interesting.
direction would work? But yeah, ultimately ended up with the Kimberly that we have now.
And everyone loves her.
Yep. From in terms of like legacy characters, Chun-Li was probably the most difficult, just because so many people love her, and everyone's ideal Chun-Li is slightly different
Yeah.
from one another. So like, multiple designers had their own ideas, but it was hard to come to an agreement.
Chun-Li. Chun-Li.
彼女はすぐ決まりました。大丈夫。
Everybody figured out her pretty quick.
Yeah. All right. From Distribution Fuzzy, will it be possible for our created character to learn the moves and styles of the DLC characters?
えーっと
Yes, yes, yes. Easy question. Oh, I love this. Hold on. I'm gonna let this play out. Yeah. Go, go, go.
Oh, this is cool.
All right.
We can just hit boards.
Okay. Just a few more questions. So, from the engineer, Street Fighter 6 introduces several new core gameplay systems, most notably the drive system. When starting designing of a brand new fighting game, what is the thought process that goes into designing new core gameplay systems, and what guiding principle or core idea led to the drive system being fully realized? So, basically, how did you
Come up
design the
with a
drive
drive
system?
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
今回 so one aspect of the drive system that they really wanted to accomplish was so with Street Fighter 5 we had V triggers and V skills that were relatively easy to execute, right? It's just a matter of pressing two buttons at the same time. However, like the attributes and like the abilities that can be performed from there were different and were unique character by character.
Right.
So at first it was they thought it was different types of V triggers and V skills available, but maybe that kind of caused some stress and it was hard to figure out like which one is the best and like how to use how does this one differ from this V trigger. So with the drive system, they wanted to kind of make it so that it's once again easy to execute, like anyone can do it, but make it universal so that it's relatively similar in terms of like what actually happens when you execute it. So like anyone can do a drive impact, and the outcome is very similar from character to character. So that's something that they wanted to accomplish. So yeah, I mean, certain like the drive impact is pretty easy to tell like what happens. It just performs like a very strong attack that can take a couple hits when you do it, and then with drive parry, that's pretty a simple concept to understand as well. It pretty much just parries any sort of attack that gets thrown at that character. So those concepts are relatively similar, but then they also wanted to try to create like a kind of like a how do I explain it? Kind of like a process where like a player can first learn like the easy stuff of the drive system, which is like the drive impact. You press two buttons and then a very strong attack gets performed, and then gradually if they get more used to the game and more used to the system, they can advance to kind of incorporating drive parry, which might be a little more like a complex concept, and then gradually
Okay.
that becomes okay. Now I'm going to incorporate drive rush into my repertoire and really use that to my advantage. So they wanted to kind of like make it like a gradual process,
Yeah.
like having like learning blocks, like building blocks that people can really I don't know, steps that players can take to kind of advance their battle style.
So that everyone can have their own journey into
Yeah,
learning
yeah.
how to play the game.
Exactly.
Okay.
Nice.
Next question. From Carnage, what was behind the decision to make Ken a more integral part of Street Fighter 6's story?
まあ、今回の6のストーリーにはケンがすごい絡んでいるみたいですけれども、
Because Ken needed a redemption from Street Fighter 5.
結果 yeah, obviously you get to learn some story elements through playing World Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a comic book series that we're publishing on our website that tells the stories, prior to the events of Street Fighter 6. And those story
I don't think I knew about that.
things
Okay.
that they've been thinking of from like the early concept days. And yeah, with Ken, he's a very popular character that everyone loves, and he's got multiple sides to him. He's very cheerful guy, but they also wanted to incorporate kind of like a dramatic storyline
Mhm.
to him, to this character that a lot of people are familiar with and love. And yeah, that's kind of how they ended up with him being an integral part in the story.
I think everyone loves him even more now because everyone's nickname for him, Homeless Ken,
うん
is here.
Yeah.
まあこれでよりみんな剣が好きになったんじゃないかと思います。すごい印象的な剣だと思いますので。
そん
saw
な
all the memes.
剣のね
マスターズ。
マスターズ財団もある
Oh, wow.
Mm.
That's cool. I didn't even recognize that. And then from Shock, I've always been interested in extra modes for Street Fighter, so I'm very excited about World Tour and Extreme Battle Mode. What made you guys decide to design World Tour mode?
まあ、格
Yeah.
ゲーの部分で So, yeah, I mean, obviously, fighting games are great and they're a lot of fun. And as long as you have an opponent to play against, you can play pretty much any title infinitely for the rest of your life. And that's why these guys continue to still play Super Street Fighter 2, Turbo, and Street Fighter 3, even to this day, despite of
Mhm.
how old these titles are. And eventually, players get better by having a community that they're part of and learning from one another and communicating with each other. But they just felt that there weren't that many good tools within like fighting games to get better and to improve. So they wanted World Tour to be a fun way for newcomers to
Mhm.
gradually get more familiarized with fighting game systems and follow a storyline while actually improving their game.
Cool, and that's exactly what you're doing right now. There's all the different ways of teaching people. Is the mini games.
Mhm.
There's
Right.
the drive. When they flash the white and everything for punish counter, basically. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they wanted to try to kind of decrease the amount of time it takes to really get into and feel comfortable playing a fighting game. So hopefully this will allow players to really learn quickly and to be able to kind of jump in and play against each other.
Yeah, and make crazy characters.
Yeah, like
So we-
World Tour mode is doing something that
全然あり。
probably hasn't been done since maybe
Yeah.
Def Jam.
We've
In
seen
terms
them
like it feels very
everywhere.
Def Jammy, where you
Avatars.
create your character, you go around different places, cities, countries,
キャ
whatever,
ラクターとかね世界
and have these fights, have these brawls, have these goofy interactions with other people
人もいたりまあ自分も
in the series, and like it's good for those that just want to play the single player offline content. Maybe they want to play online, maybe just want to do the single player stuff. So this has got a huge single player mode that's offline. I feel like a lot of people can get into and enjoy. Then Capcom's smart for doing this.
So yeah, and I mean, obviously there's people out there who love the characters of Street Fighter, but might not be super comfortable playing fighting games, even though they might love like the characters and like the story and the lore.
Yeah, exactly.
So they felt like
I feel like this
strong
mode's gonna be great for people that are maybe not
outlet
super comfortable playing
for
fighting
that
games, and it
audience
kind of slowly gets them
as
used to it,
well,
brings them in.
and
This is cool. A lot of good questions answered. I mean, a lot of stuff that some of it's kind of common sense stuff a bit, but also people wonder, there's stuff got crossplay with PS4. I love a lot of the reasons for why they're doing stuff like World Tour mode and other things related to the game was challenging. Like the 2+ years on the each character, like creation from initial concept to final, finalization on the character and like that final product of the character is like that's insane. But it's able to be one of the best games I would say of all time. Definitely going to be probably the best fighting game of the year this year. Depend what else comes out. I don't know, but yeah, this is able to be really great. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. And there's gonna be more Street Fighter 6 hype, I'm sure, leading up to the game because I mean we only got a few weeks. We got the freaking open beta. That's like essentially the same as the closed beta too. We're gonna be diving into that's gonna be a lot of fun. So. Looking forward to jumping into that, playing with some community members and that's gonna be crossplay as well across PC, PlayStation, Xbox. So, yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming up, and looking forward to making a lot of great content with Street Fighter 6 to help get people more into this game, into fighting games in general, and this can be maybe their first fighting game for them. So, and I'm trying to help people get into that and make some cool content with that. So yeah, very exciting.